Hello, everybody. My name is Coach Ray Z, and welcome to Athletic Definition. Uh, Man, yesterday I had a guest. Well, so yesterday I was supposed to have fitness in the metaverse, and I got mixed up with my guest Megan, who lives in Hong Kong, and so I ended up doing that show. So today is the makeup show for fitness in the metaverse. I'm going to go over a little bit everything that's kind of trendy. Uh, it's a mixture of different realities, and I'm going to go over what's popular, what's getting more popular, and you'd probably be more surprised than you would think of how much you're familiar with it or know it or your kids play it. Besides that, as well, stay tuned at the very end. I'll go over with some of the negatives that could come about from the metaverse. And so, to start off, I would say that the most popular, well known at the moment right now is Facebook, formerly known as Facebook, now Meta, and they bought Oculus. Oculus is like a virtual reality goggles that you can use to play video games, and um, they've owned them now for I think like 7 years. So they've had some time to work with them quite a bit, and they're expensive. So on a recent article in Forbes on December of 2021, they said that not this year that just passed, but the previous year, pretty much all the VR headsets that were being sold were to gamers. That's who likes to use them to play video games. But this past year that just happened, a lot of the VR headsets that were bought were just for the casual user, kind of trying to experiment a little bit on it. And I'm looking at one right now. Look, they're definitely, this one is $300 if you want to get it. That's the Oculus. And with that, in that article as well, Forbes was saying that fitness seems to have been the key to the VR glasses selling to the normal person versus just regular gamers like it's been in the past. And they do have a lot of fitness apps. I took a look at a lot of them. As you know, I'm a big jiu-jitsu, basketball, fighting, running type of guy. So I looked into their boxing. You know, there's nothing like the real thing. The great thing about boxing and MMA is you're not going to actually take any damage. But the moves, I'm going to talk about the equipment first because the moves, the equipment, the VRs, all that, it's still clunky. It's still, I don't know how much fun it would be. And this is all, depending on the headset you have, but they could be pretty heavy. They could be pretty awkward. I've seen a bunch of different ones, kind of just looking into it. They also, you have to hook up like an additional like bracelet. And if you want shoes, you need special shoes. And that's quite a bit of money. So if you look at like the newest PlayStation 5, back in the day, the video games, there was always a delay and you could always see loading, and you'd have to wait, going back from not Atari because it was different, but maybe like Genesis, Nintendo, you'd always get that load. And on the new games, they're very seamless. It just goes from basically that's it. You're playing the game it's very quick. The graphics are ridiculous. They look very good right now with the crisp clarity of the TVs. You can pretty much see sometimes when you're watching a fight or a basketball game, it's hard to distinguish if you're watching a video game or if you're actually watching a live event. So they've come a long way. But then when you get into the VR ones, they've taken a step back. It looks like you're playing a video game from the 80s. If you're shooting a basketball or working out, they don't seem to respond very well. Now, some of the things that have gotten popular is VR and AR, which is gonna be all mixed in with the metaverse. But VR is virtual reality, and then AR is augmented reality. A few years ago, probably the most popular game that got caught on. I never played it. Was Pokemon Go, and everybody was trying to catch a Pokemon. And since then, I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been a game that's caught on like that. But that's been kind of like the most interactive type of game. And now with AR, you can shoot basketballs that aren't really there. I don't really think that looks too much fun either, but I like the idea. And I guess depending on where you are at, and if you can't afford a basketball court, it's better than nothing. And then with a virtual reality, they also have games like that as well. They have a long way to go. Like I said, it looks like you're looking at roadblocks. So to me, it's not like the best. But if you want to look to the future, you can always look to the military. So I started looking into the military, and they got uh, like headgears and goggles and portable VR, AR, and they mix it with 3D so they could train because ammunition is really expensive, and so they're using this to train. And you know that what they're using, the public will get access to it. So when the VR sets start getting that small, maybe I would try it. But for right now, they're too clunky for me. The other thing that they need to address is what about when you sweat? How resistant are they to sweat? Will they break, especially with how expensive they are? So if you want to look into it, Oculus is one of them. The other one that I looked into that I heard about, it's called Catwalk, and it's a treadmill, but it's for VR. And when you walk on it, you can't walk like a normal person. You actually have to learn how to walk in their manner. You need those attachments, which cost you extra. It doesn't look like a regular treadmill. It's more like a circle, and then in the back there's a V, and you can run on it, and you can play games on it, and it costs $1,400. That doesn't include, the VR set, the additional things you need for your hands and your feet. So this is not something ready to hit the masses. They have more than one version. So they have the cat. I think it's Loco S, which is attachments. One goes around your waist, and the other two go around your ankles. And then they have the Cat Mini, and that one and the Cat Walk. They don't even give the price for that, so I'm just going to assume that they're over 1,500. And that's something you could look into. It's far, far, far from getting into. Even though they call it a treadmill, they specifically say it's not meant for it. It will wear down. I seen one guy on YouTube try to run like I guess, a popular game, and he tried to run from the beginning of the game to the end, and he did, but he wore out the shoes, and they're super expensive. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that. And the other thing that I saw that, as we're getting to the future, basically, it will be a mixture of, VR, AR, and the metaverse is in the early beginnings, kind of like the chat rooms of back of when the internet first started. And it's up to us, what we want to build. But I saw this company, and I heard already of Elon Musk. He has something called Neuralink, but before he got uh, access to Neuralink, there's another company called Synchron, and basically it's like a chip that they attach to your brain. And I thought, they're talking maybe 3 to 5 years away for like paraplegics and people who have lost control of arms and things. It looks like a miracle breakthrough. It's definitely nice advancements, and I could always see how that will be integrated into entertainment into the future. Right now, I think it's really, Metaverse is really trying to push that. I feel that Apple is still kind of geared towards like gadgets. They still want you to wear wearables. They're probably working on glasses. I know they have their watches. And there is another company that I found, and they're called Netmind. And I thought, well, they're pretty far away from releasing Neuralink and everything. But Netmind, you can look them up. They are sold out right now, and I think they go for $400. And basically, it's just like a little attachment, and you can literally attach it to the back of your hat or even to like headphones. And with that, you can turn off your TV, just by thinking about it. You can turn on things. You can, turn on your lights, turn on your TV. So they were showing like for this is more just for the general public, because for Elon Musk, they were talking about like, being able to order groceries when you normally wouldn't be able to do that because you couldn't move your arm. But this is just for the average person, and it's fascinating and interesting and a little scary too. With everything good and benefits, there's people who could try and manipulate it. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, since it's so early and it's up to us what we want to create. Is especially as AI gets more intelligent and they start writing some of these programs. Right now, with the internet, a lot of us kind of gave up our personal information, joining social media, and we kind of gave it away for free platforms that we don't have to create, and so they own it. And as we go into the future, who's going to own these metaverses and this information? There's a lot more stuff to look into, but they say that because, like for example, those VR glasses, they charge you based on what they can do. So they can do head tracking, eye tracking, and with those advancements, they're talking about they'll be able to detect, say for example, maybe disease that you have before you know it, and that's great for prevention. But what about when, depending on who's in control of this information in the future, what about if, let's say, insurance companies get a hold of it and they prevent you or take away your insurance before you even know what's going on? So I see a lot of benefits. I see a lot of people who maybe are afraid to walk into a gym, to work out, where they can walk into like a virtual land and work out and not have to worry about it. Mirrors are getting really popular. Smart mirrors, we'll see a lot more of those in the future. And like the mirror to work out, it's like 1,400, but you see a virtual person, and I think maybe just for certain people, that's good. Everyone's different, and you may just be so insecure that you'd rather deal with a virtual hologram. But as far as society and advancement, and part of working out is learning to get to know yourself better. If you have a coach, you get to learn how to interact. If you have a team, you learn how to be part of a team. These are all benefits that, like the human interaction. And I worry about the future and like what will people be doing? Because basically it's almost like transhumanism when you start implanting those chips in your brain. And I always try and look at the positive, but I'm also trying to be aware and let people know. Let's in this future metaverse, especially if you're going to use it for working out, how much information, what platforms are you putting it into? I'm very skeptical, and I've said it about Facebook and what they've done and how it's come out on the news about them already, and how they were going to come out with Instagram for kids, and because they were all over the news, they said, no, we're not going to do it. But if you log on to Facebook through your desktop, you will see Facebook Messenger for kids. So they're not stopping. They're not going to stop. I looked at the whole 1 hour metaverse that Mark Zuckerberg had the presentation, and it'll be like a mixture of reality and not reality. So you wake up and you see a waterfall. Well, now they know that you like waterfalls, and they could advertise that vacation to you, which it does have its benefits, but even things that they don't want you to know, just with so much technology, the information that they're going to be able to get. And if people want to trade that information in, or I've been hearing maybe people will kind of be more willing to trade information for discounts, and as long as it's more balanced and we become aware. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear comments on what you guys think. If you guys think that working out in the future will be better in Meta, can you see yourself working out like that? Can you see yourself working out in virtual reality? I've seen. I looked up fighting. There's no jujitsu that I could find. No VR. no AR. I found some stand up. The stand up, it's starting to come along. It's a little bit slow. Um, and the graphics, like I said, they kind of suck. They basically look like crash test dummies, and they're throwing punches and kicks at you. And even some of the simulations that they said are good, um, they're not very realistic, like in a real street fight. So I don't really see that as replacing any sort of self defense. They got a long way to go. But it's just going to be a very nice mixture with as things get more advanced, and then we can make it more affordable to the average person. Because when you see the kits that the military has, and everything I looked up was recent, I would say within the last year and a half. I wanted to try and get like as much accurate information, but yeah, right now everything that Cat VR, it's about maybe the size of a treadmill in a circle, and are you willing to put that in your home, in your room, in your apartment, just besides maybe a treadmill? Me personally, and that's just a game, and it's not even there. And like we are still have to learn the effects of what it will be like to spend so much time in there, and is it healthy? The commercial for one of the working outs for Facebook or Meta, one of the workout programs, that goes like, I want to wake up and train in a mountain. Well, to me, it's a lot more beautiful to wake up and go train in an actual mountain. Now, maybe if you live somewhere where there's no mountains, I could see the benefit, but I don't. A lot of people are lazy, and those are the people that I'm worried about. I remember going hiking, and I was in the Hollywood Hills, which is Griffith Park, basically, and from there you can get to the Hollywood sign. And I was hiking, and I was actually running, and I wasn't trying to, but you hear conversations, and this one person is talking to their friends and saying, "Oh, I was trying to hike up here, and I was having a hard time breathing, so my doctor gave me some medication." And in my mind, I'm like, you don't need medication. I'm not a doctor, but just kind of based on what he said, I'm like, you just need to come up here more and get more air and your oxygen, more cardio, and little by little, you'll get in better shape. And you don't need pills to breathe better unless you got some sort of like deficiency or something that happened to you. If you're a good, healthy human being, there's no reason why you need assistance of some sort of medication. Just go out there and climb that mountain and enjoy it, and enjoy that shortness of breath, because once you get up to the top, you could kind of catch your breath and enjoy the views, especially if you're just hiking. I don't see why you would need medication to just get in better shape, when getting in better shape is the medication. So I know this is being transmitted or simulcast on Twitch and Facebook, and I have it on Twitter, and then I have my Instagram. So feel free, also on any of the podcasts, you can leave reviews. So feel free to leave me a message. Let me know what you guys think of the metaverse, the fitness. Is it something you're looking forward to? I'm looking to forward into more of integration with sports, and seeing how, maybe a lot of people can't afford to go to a fight or a Super Bowl, because it is quite expensive, or to sit in the front row during the final seven. As the technology gets better and it seems more like VR and AR, like just so real that you're there and you can put on the VR glasses. That sounds pretty entertaining and different. But that's not something that I feel I would want to do all the time. Like the way it's described by Mark, where people are just putting on the VR sets just to watch a video, where to me, I'd rather go to my friend's house and watch the game than go into a virtual reality and watch the game. Uh, there's nothing like it, and uh, you know, you can just tell society is enjoying it. One of the things that I couldn't stand, and I'm so glad it's over, but you can tell that people are kind of drawn to this new reality is the Snapchat filters. When all the girls were putting like the dog ears and the nostrils, and then they start doing the animal. That's augmented reality that you're doing. And for the parents that are like, oh, I don't even know about that. If your kids play video games, that's kind of like the meta. They were the ones in the voice room audio before there was like Clubhouse or anything like that. So they were communicating, talking to each other like that. And then, it kind of changed a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's so many already. Basically, it's here. It's just taking time to develop, and we'll see. Especially just as far as the advancement, they keep going so quickly. I'm looking forward to it. After I learned about how much information they can pull from your retinas and going to your eyes, I'm a little worried and wary about actually putting them on. I was looking to buy some because I shoot some 360 video, and I'm working on that so that when you're watching it, you can really take a look at how the exercise is done. And they're like, if you're doing 360 videos, you should at least get a $40 pair of glasses so that you can experience it, which sounds like a good idea. But now it's like you have to be a lawyer to be able to read all these things when you're getting access to an app. So I'll have to decide what I'm going to do going into the future and kind of look into who gets that information, and hopefully, as the Web3 gets bigger, it's not just these same companies that are going to control it. This is where other people can step in, and hopefully smart AI that can create good blockchains and good information that can't be corrupted by some corrupt individual or maybe someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So thank you everybody for joining. This has been Athletic Definition. And next Thursday, I will be having Carlos Pineda. He is an ultra runner and he's done a 100-mile race. He's also a salsa dancer, so we can talk about the variety of exercises and why he enjoys each one. And then on Friday, I will be having Steve Cotter, who is basically a fitness pioneer in kettlebells. He's probably one of the first, if not the first, to introduce kettlebells to United States, and he's also a martial artist. So definitely looking forward to that. He's also a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. So I've been watching him for a long time. So to me, it'll be a great honor to have him on here. I love, when I was in school, I didn't enjoy it, but I love the history and the knowledge, and he's just such a wealth of knowledge. So yeah, definitely looking forward to having him. So be sure to tune in. And I'll put it up on my podcast, but if you're in here, I have, or you see the replay, I have $10 off for Unstoppable Domains, which is the Web3. If you're interested in getting a website where you never have to pay for it again, you pay once and that's it. The most expensive website is $100, and the least expensive is $20 on average. So if you get one that's $40 and up, you get $10 off. And that is from Unstoppable's domain. There's also my website where you can reach me, which is www.coachrayz.com. And there, if you want to set up an appointment, I give you a 30-minute free consultation to see if I could help you with maybe a marathon plan, or helping you rehabilitate some sort of knee issues or Achilles issues or shin splints that you're getting, and see what I could do with that. And let's see there. I think there was one more thing I wanted to cover before I close out. Oh, yeah. I always like to give thanks to the new listeners, the new countries, the new states. I lost track of how many at 29. The last time I counted, I had 29 countries. But I had, I think, 3 more join. So I wanted to say thank you to Nepal, Tanzania, and Bermuda. And I believe I got one new state, and I believe it's North Dakota. So thank you. If you find this valuable or you just like the content, be sure to share it with a friend, and I would appreciate a review. So thank you for joining me. This is Coach Ray, Athletic Definition, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.